couple of guys are here skating already, and it's getting close. It's that time of the year where you're getting excited about the season. You're in the office, you're talking about lines, lineup, power play units. So it's always that time of the year where the adrenaline starts to flow. And you're right, we have some new faces, and I think that's the look of many teams around the league. As you get into this cap era, there's going to be changes every year in personnel on your team, and the changes we've made, the adjustments we've made to our lineup, I'm excited. They should add some real flair, especially up front.
Mike, the new faces are one thing, but you have to be excited about some of the guys you're getting back from injury too.
Yeah, for sure. You look at, Gino was injured before the playoffs last year. He's in skating already. Chris Letang said he's had a great summer. Pascal Dupuis seems really good. He was chomping at the bit to play if we had extended the playoff series last year. And then you've got Olli Mata and Olli. So with those guys, you're right. That type of energy with guys that had long-term injuries, especially Dupuis and Mata, coming back in the lineup, it's going to be exciting for the group.
We've talked about pairings in the past, Mike. Are there any, with what you currently have, pairings that sort of intrigue you guys you want to play together?
Well, we're looking at up front on the lines with, we've got Crosby, Kessel, Malkin, Hornquist. It could be the other way around, but those types of pairings we'll probably start with. It'll be one of those groups together. And then on the left side, you've got a number of players that can play the left side. Even right wingers like Perron or Bennett could play the left side, as you saw last year. So we want to see how a guy like Pascal starts the season and looks in training camp. It sounds like he's skating really well right now from everything I've heard. He sounds energized and excited, but again, it's been almost 2 years he's had off. The way he started last year, though, it's encouraging.
As you've gone through your line combinations, if camp started today, where would we find Kessel?
You'd probably find him starting on the right side with Sid to begin with. But again, things do change in camp. What we want to do, we've got eight exhibition games, and so with the games, we want to try combinations together so we're ready for the beginning of the season. So we want to give guys a chance to play together, but we also want to take a look at some different looks in practice. So don't get enamored if some practice there's some different combinations. We need to take a look at it as we head in and approach that beginning of the season with Dallas and Arizona.
Is there a little bit more freedom for you this season? I know last year we talked a lot about defensive structure and everything. Yeah. Are you able to open things up a little bit more and do some things you weren't maybe able to do because of personnel last year?
I thought early in the year we were able to do what we wanted to do. Losing Olli Mata was a big loss early in the season because a lot of what we want to do is predicated on our defense getting the puck, moving it up quickly, enjoying the rush, being part of the attack, being part of the offensive zone movement, options in there. So a great deal of what we want to do is dictated by our defense. And so you look at our defense, we have some young guys moving into core spots now. We've had a transition in defense. If you look at the last 2 years with Niskanen and Orpik leaving the year before, with Paul Martin and Ehrhoff last year. So we've lost some experience, but we're starting to bring in some youth, guys who can skate, guys who can move the puck. So that's exciting from the back end.
Is the Russian winger that you guys signed sort of an X factor?
Yeah, Plotnikov is a player that we all want to see. We've heard good reports, certainly from Europe. We've heard good reports from our staff that have watched him play internationally. So from that point of view, we want to just allow him to. It's tough coming to a new environment when you don't know the language. First, make sure him and his wife get some lessons and in English, and so he starts to build up over the next month his language skills, and then just get him to feel comfortable when he comes in. Start to evaluate him probably after a couple weeks of camp.
And you made mention of Mata and those guys coming back. Is that as big as any offseason acquisition you've made in terms of changing your team for the better?
Well, for sure, because there's two ingredients here. Pascal Dupuis is energy. He's a team chemistry guy. He's a veteran. And then Olli Mata, as I mentioned, is a core part of how we want to play. He skates very well. He moves the puck well as a defenseman. And he's a young, energetic guy who I think has a lot of potential in this league. Certainly, like any other defenseman, until you've played probably 150 games, there's going to be some growing pains with your game. But he has all the ingredients to be a very good player.